Of course, we're going to talk about how Cinco de Mayo began. So in the 1860s, Mexico was in a financial crisis after a civil war, and so they had taken out loans with Britain, France, and Spain. But after a while, Mexico was struggling to pay back what they owed, so they suspended the foreign payments, and Britain, Spain, and France formed the Tripartite Alliance and sent forces out to pressure Mexico into paying. So they landed in 1862, and Britain and Spain were expecting to complete this joint diplomatic effort. But once they landed in Mexico, it became very clear that France had very different motivations. Napoleon III had a secret plan to overthrow Mexico's government and install a French-controlled monarchy. This obviously went way beyond just debt collection, and Britain and Spain were not interested in being part of this and destabilizing the Mexican government. So they dipped out after doing their own diplomatic talks with Mexico and withdrew their troops. France stayed behind to pursue its colonizing ambitions. These actions by France are what then led to the Battle of Puebla. France sent about 6,000 troops out, expecting a very easy win. They were professionally trained, had good weapons, should have been pretty simple. But the Mexican president was not backing down. So he rallied the defenses, he pulled together about 4,000 people by the best estimate, but they had a lot working against them. These people were not as well trained, not as well equipped. So they were facing a massive uphill battle, but they were smart. They were able to really fortify their position in the hills around Puebla, and of course make the most of that home turf advantage. So they were very smart, split their troops into two across the two forts, and as the French advanced, they were facing an uphill battle, both literally and metaphorically. They were having to fight their way through this very muddy uphill stretch. And the Mexicans either side were able to put up significant resistance, and ultimately the French had such severe losses that they had to pull back. In the end, the French suffered over 460 casualties, and the Mexican losses were under 100. So all of this only went for a day. By the afternoon, the French retreated, and the underdogs won. So to this day, this is still remembered as a massive underdog victory. The smaller and less equipped Mexican army going up against the big European giant of French army and coming out victorious. So that battle and this day celebrates something really, really powerful and a really historic and momentous win.